In the pantheon of casual dining experiences, few middle-class fancy eateries have experienced a trajectory like Chili's. From their rustic roots to an expansive nationwide chain,
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
this southwestern sit-down has seen all the ups and downs of the industry. But where many casual dining chains have entered a modern age of decline, the Big Red Pepper has somehow re-entered the building. So how exactly did Chili's get its groove back? Well, today we're diving into a cornucopia of appetizers to find out how Chili's came back. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, leave us a comment and let us know what other food-related topics you would like to hear about. All right, fajita friends, let's get sizzling. With nearly 2,000 locations and worldwide holdings in 27 different countries, Chili's has certainly come a long way from its humble beginnings in Dallas, Texas. As the operator of a music venue, founder Larry Levine was looking to get a fresh start in the food business when he took over a local hotspot. But when his first restaurant was destroyed by a fire, Levine opened a new eatery in the literal ashes of his first restaurant. Dubbed Kitty Hawk, Levine's second run at the restaurant biz featured a shrimp char bar and a large-scale replica of the titular Wright brothers airplane. And although the grill was a favorite for the good folks of Dallas, Levine soon sold his share of Kitty Hawk to take on his next business venture. Larry Levine's father-in-law, a highly respected race car driver named Carroll Shelby, was a Texas foodie back before we even had the term. As founder of the very first championship chili cook-off, Shelby often asked his son-in-law to judge his competition. With his vast experience in southwestern cuisine, Larry Levine purchased a long vacant building in Dallas consisting of blank black walls and no windows. Choosing the name Chili's Grill and Bar as a way to honor Texas cook-offs, Levine had struck gold. But before they could start slinging Tex-Mex miracles, Levine and his crew had a lot of work to do. Hiring his former Kitty Hawk architects and interior designers, the artists gave this former post office a major facelift by constructing booths from shipping crates and tiling their wooden tables with hand-painted designs. This dining area was full of character. With lines that stretched down the block, customers were served cold ones while they waited. And we do mean one. Because although Texas's strict liquor laws had lessened to allow Chili's to sling brews, the original location solely served Schlitz. As the only brewery in town willing to give Chili's their cans on credit, Levine and his staff had to improvise. Despite their meager beer offerings, the first Chili's began mixing margaritas and sultry sangrias to fill in the margins. But once customers got through those doors, it was Southwest perfection. In a hand-lettered menu, Chili's offered some very special burgers. Because according to Levine, the Chili's meat vendor supplied steaks to a chain called Steak and Ale. And so when they cut steaks, they had steak trimming left, and that went in our hamburgers. And one of those burgers still exists to this day, the old-time burger, a half-pound Chili's classic. It came with mustard, lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickles for $1.50. Throw some cheese or chili on that bad boy for 15 cents while you're at it. Like any good burger stinger, Chili's also had sides of fries for 50 cents. Another Chili's mainstay, these fries were conceived as a way to compete with a local barbecue joint called Mac's. Unable to replicate the pitmaster's potatoes, Mac's owner decided to lend a hand. Always looking south of the border for inspiration, the first menu also included soft-shelled tacos stuffed with cheesy chili for $1.50. And if you were looking for a Tex-Mex appropriate side with those tacos, one could ditch the fries for a cup of salsa with chips. Speaking of chili, the original Dallas menu offered 3 varieties of signature chili bowls, such as Chili's own Texas Red Chili, with a recipe of ground red chili peppers, punchy cumin powder, and a dash of granulated onion. This blend was a huge hit for first-time chili eaters and heat seekers alike. And no matter what you chose to chase down that slurry of Schlitz and frozen margs, all Chili's items came served in those classic paper-lined baskets. With night owl hours on the weekends and a closing time of midnight through the week, Dallas customers had found their neighborhood favorite. Throughout the 70s and into the early 80s, Larry Levine's Chili's Grill and Bar was a haven for so-called hamburger hippies. With a laid-back approach to service industry woes, Levine and his staff adopted the motto, "Let's play restaurant," at a not-so-subtle jab at their off-the-cuff tendencies. This catchphrase encapsulates the Wild West attitude of the time, with anarchic parking lot signs warning non-customers that their cars will be crushed and melted, and zany hand-designed work uniforms. Chili's employees were often a reflection of their clientele. But for Levine, this was just business. I used to say our customers were anybody breathing. We got young and old, and it just fit everybody. And to his credit, those long lines just kept on growing. Starting with its second-ever location in 1976, this Houston, Texas Chili's was followed by an additional 16 restaurants by 1983. Norman Brinker, founder of the steak and ale chains, purchased all 18 Chili's locations that same year. Formerly an executive for the Pillsbury Company, Brinker brought an unparalleled expertise to the budding business. And as more and more locations spread across the South, it was Brinker himself who sparked a sizzling expansion to the Chili's repertoire. Because in 1984, those so good you can hear them fajitas came to Chili's. Popularized by Tex-Mex legends such as Juan Fajita King Antonio, the term fajita did not exist prior to the 70s. But once those crackling tortillas hit the streets of major metros like Houston and Dallas, it was only a matter of time before the big chains took a bite. Introducing their first line of fajitas in 1984, Chili's brand of boisterous munchies were a massive hit. And before long, the chain was knee-deep in fajita meat. Over 60 million pounds per year, in fact. Because as of today, the fajita remains one of Chili's #1 items. But at the time, this food was so foreign to many Americans that Chili's even included a how-to-eat instruction manual on the table. And with the popular "I survived the summer of fajita madness" t-shirts for sale in stores, it was clear customers were eager to learn. From the late 80s into the early aughts, Chili's experienced new worlds of success. With an abundance of locations, things really got cooking at this Texas staple. One of the most popular Chili's cravings, the Presidente Margarita, was initially conceived in celebration of the first Atlanta location. With a hand-shaken mix of Luna Azul tequila, Citronge orange liqueur, and E&J brandy, this classic drink comes in lime, mango, and strawberry. Chili's now boasts an impressive haul of 135,000 gallons of margaritas served every year. So instrumental was the Presidente Margarita to Chili's success, the company has even trademarked the name. But that's nothing compared to the cultural impact of another Chili's specialty. Although the baby back ribs were first served in 1986, it would be another decade before the "so catchy it hurts" theme first wriggled into our eardrums. Because when Chili's hired jingle genius Guy Bomarito to whip up a song for their saucy favorite in 1997, nobody could have known what was to come. For a while, "I want my baby back, baby back, baby back ribs" was everywhere. From major features in Austin Powers gags to official covers by NSYNC and Boyz II Men, this jingle was built to last. Chili's finally put the jingle to rest in 2006. But fear not, ribheads. The baby back ribs are still a prominent feature in most Chili's menus today. And they even brought that jingle back within a few years. And then again. And again. Speaking of the spotlight, Chili's was heavily featured in a fan-favorite episode of The Office. The Client, which originally aired in 2005, gave the show one of its most quoted lines and practically sent Office fans scrambling to the nearest booth. Chili's installed nearly 50,000 digital ordering tablets in over 800 locations by 2014. And according to Chili's, taking some service out of the equation had a major impact. With 20% more dessert sales, customers seem to feel less guilty asking a machine for those skillet cookies and molten chocolate cakes. The robot doesn't judge. The digital tablets also led to an increase in tips and a major decrease in service times. And while things seemed to be on the up and up for the red pepper, it was only a matter of time before Chili's took a tumble. By the end of the 2010s, casual dining had fallen out of favor. From a growing disdain for modest eateries on social media to a rising preference for fast casual eateries, enthusiasm for Chili's and similar chains had simply waned. After so many childhoods were spent in those stuffy booths surrounded by kitsch, some foodies were ready for something new. And Chili's certainly felt the sting. In 2018, the company suffered a 4.4% loss in sales. That same year, Chili's was hit hit by a data breach, which exposed banking information from many of its valued customers. And although Chili's was just as susceptible to the ever-advancing technology of data hackers as any other corporation, that kind of press is never good. When the COVID-19 pandemic escalated in 2019, Chili's took losses on a level previously unseen. And although they ultimately survived the crisis, it was a hard road. Without a catchy new theme song, people just sort of forgot about the one-time fave. Chili's decided you can't put baby back ribs in a corner and began to make some changes. First, they got with the times. By going ham on various social media platforms, the big red pepper started popping up everywhere by 2022. With low-stakes ads that appeal to elder millennials and Zoomers alike, the company had found an unexpected new customer base. Because as food costs keep rising alongside our nostalgia for the good old days, many restaurant goers were shocked to discover what Chili's has to offer. For instance, their popular lunch combo is just over $10 at most American locations, which is about what you'd spend for a burger and fries at McDonald's. With fast food competitive prices and fresh takes on old favorites, modern Chili's fans have been in baby back bliss. And with low-fat options like the classic sirloin with grilled avocado or the artery-clogging wonders of the crispy honey chipotle chicken crispers meal, Chili's has continued to honor its roots in serving something for anyone. Now, it's time to start planning next year's Dundies. So what do you think? Are you glad Chili's is back, or should they have stayed gone? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, check out some of these other weird history food videos.